Hi guys, I am back at the Guardian Stones again to do another Skyrim mod preview video. And this time I'm going to be covering a mod called Skyrim Heart Rate. Now this is a mod for people who are heavily into immersion. If you're the sort of person who has installed Frostfall, realistic needs and diseases and so on, this mod is probably going to be one you like. If you don't like those kind of realism mods, this one is definitely not going to be for you. From my very quick testing of this mod, what it essentially does is add the concept of heart rate to Skyrim. And your heart rate affects how you perform. If I go along to my spell section, active effects, you will see immediately there is a low heart rate effect in red, which usually means negative. Don't worry too much about this. What this actually means is my heart is nice and slow, probably around 70 or 80 beats per minute, perfectly normal. And I know it's got a red effect, but you're not dying. What it does mean though is you're not warmed up, you're not ready to go, you haven't got yourself warmed up, and your stamina regeneration is slightly lower. But you're not using any stamina anyway, so it's probably not a big problem. The other thing to notice is the effect above it, which gives long-term stamina. And you'll notice it says I'm filled with energy plus 20 stamina. This means I'm well rested and I'm ready to go. And if I stayed like this, nothing would change. Oh, by the way, there are some hotkeys with this mod I have discovered. If I press the hotkey for my heartbeat, you can hear it. That's my heart. Press it again. Cool. And there are other hotkeys I can press that will say, for example, there you go, you feel fresh, which means I'm feeling fine. I've got loads of energy reserves. I believe it indicates this one, the long-term stamina. Now, what happens if I start running around? Well, my heart rate starts to go up. It doesn't go up immediately, it starts to climb. If I press the heartbeat button, you can hear it. Now, if you want to actually see the numbers, this thing does actually have a mod configuration. Skyrim heart rate. It's actually got a lot of things you can tweak. Many of them haven't been implemented yet, but he is going to integrate them with some very popular mods, which is great. And you can enable message feedback, which will actually tell you the number of beats per minute that your character is currently at. So, for example, now if I press the button, 91 beats per minute. So I get the message as well as the sound effect. If I sprint, 106. And so on. So sprinting, fighting, these type of activities, or even running, just running like this, raises your heart rate. So, what is the effect of this? Well, if you check the effect now, you'll see that the long-term stamina is still pretty high, still plus 20, but I now have an elevated heart rate. I'm warmed up, and that gives me no penalty to my stamina regeneration. My stamina is now regenerating as it should, so if I went into combat, started fighting, started sprinting, those sort of things, I am going to be regenerating stamina at the normal rate, which is good. This is a good state to be in when you're expecting combat. Because, or if you're sprinting everywhere, obviously, you want your stamina to regenerate. You want that to happen. So you're going to be saying to yourself, well, okay, so why don't I just sprint everywhere and keep my heart rate up as high as possible, as often as possible? Well, that's where the long-term stamina comes in. If I go to the effects again, this long-term stamina currently is at plus 20, but the longer I remain at elevated heart rate, the faster this drops. Now, I've not been at elevated heart rate very long, and so it's not had much of an effect. Here I am sometime later, and now my long-term stamina effect is only plus 15. So as you can see, it's dropped. Now you don't actually have to keep checking the effects. There is a hotkey set to check your state, and if you press the button, it will tell you you feel rested. If I go to my effects, long-term stamina plus 10. You see, before it said fresh. You feel fresh, and that was plus 20. Now I'm at plus 10. It says you feel rested. Now, obviously, there are some maximums. I think 150 is the maximum for when running, but not sprinting. If you sprint, I believe the maximum is 160. See, I'm a little bit over there. Oh, and there is an option in the mod configuration, because of course your heart rate is important when in combat. You can actually add the, but it's under general, is it? No, advanced. Enable adrenaline rush. If you enable this, whenever you go into combat, your heart rate jumps about 15, which gives you a little bit of boost. So you get that a little bit of adrenaline, so you're not quite as sluggish as you might be. Now, I don't need it because I've been running around for a long time. I'm nicely warmed up when I am in combat. And now my status is I feel tired. So I'm no longer fresh, I'm no longer rested, I am tired. And that state is going to keep dropping, and the more I do, the more activity I do, the more fights I get into, the more sprinting I perform, obviously the more that number is going to drop. And after a while, once you've run for miles, gone into lots of fights, you start getting very tired. And of course, here we go. I'm beginning to have a negative effect on my stamina, and this will keep happening. This will keep going on. So, how do I repair that? Well, there's another hotkey set, and I press that, and I start relaxing. Probably not the best place to relax, but you get the idea. So as you can see, although I needed to keep my heart rate up, there is a penalty for it. And so now that I'm resting, my heart rate has dropped down, which means my stamina regeneration's not as good, and I'm not as good in combat, but my overall stamina is down as well. I am tired, I am ready for a rest. And so now you've got even more reason to go and visit the inn, sit by the fire, relax, take a little bit of food, take some drink, and just, regain that energy. This is obviously not going to be the mod for everyone. It is adding something else you've got to micromanage on your character, but it does add an element of realism that I really like. I'm not going to be able to tell you how much it affects your game until I play with this mod installed for quite some time, but I think this is one I'm going to like. It definitely suits my play style. It suits my need for the kind of immersive behavior, the role-playing aspects. And I really like the fact that the mod author is trying to integrate them with mods like Frostfall, Realistic Needs and Diseases, and I believe there were some other ones. Followers Can Relax and Dovahkiin Relaxes too, which is a mod that lets you have those cool, relaxing animations by the fire where you warm your hands. My guess is what he's going to do is make it so that when you do those relaxing animations, your character actually regains as well, which I think will be a great idea because some of those animations are perfect for my character, especially the one where he takes out a book and just starts reading. Great idea for a mod. I think I'm going to like this one. You guys should definitely check it out if you're into immersion. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful, and if you try the mod out, I hope you enjoy it. I will see you guys next time. Have fun.